Hey guys, so as you can see, I am a bit bare today. I have no makeup on for this video, and there is a reason and a purpose. I want to introduce a project that I am super excited about that I'm going to be introducing on my page this next coming week on Instagram. And it is a project that I'm super excited about, that I'm very proud of, and that has come to mean a lot to me. This is my third self-love club project, so I'm super excited basically to just share what it means. I want to talk about what it means to me and the reason why I started it, and kind of for those of you that have not heard that story and the meaning behind it for me and why I wanted to start doing these projects. Basically, this project started out for, it was a vision that I had basically for me to do a shoot without makeup on. And I felt like I needed to just be open and bare and as real as possible, and I realized that I had never done a shoot completely without makeup myself, and so it kind of started out just as that. It's crazy how much though that we put focus on how we look with makeup or without makeup, or just our looks in general, how people perceive us. And I realized that I was putting like a lot of emphasis on that, behind that for myself. So it was important to me for that sole reason. And honestly, when I started, it was mainly, that's the way I was saying it. It became so much more than that to me. And it showed me how to love myself, not only physically for who I was and everything that was, but also emotionally and mentally as well. And after hearing some of these girls' stories through doing this project and these shoots that I have done, it's just been so eye-opening and shown me so much about myself, how strong women can be in general, and how empowering women can be when they get in a group of other women. You don't realize how alike you are until you start hearing the stories of those women around you and what they've been through. It's just been a crazy ride. Basically what it means to me and kind of what that looks like, and another reason why this project is so meaningful to me is the journey that I've been through, loving myself mentally fully and emotionally, and who I was. It took me a while to get there. The person that you see today and that you know on my page, or that you've seen post on stories, or even met in person, is not who I was about 4 years ago. And around then is when I started this account, and the day I started it, I was a person that didn't know who they were, that didn't know fully how to love myself, and it took a lot to get there. So rewind about a year before that, so this would have been about 5 years ago now for me. There was a full year where I was very depressed and just did not know who I was at all. I was a shell of who I used to be. I had no idea where that person had gone. It was hard for me to find myself again. And sorry, for those of you that have been there, it's a tough place to be. Yeah. So you can feel so down on yourself that you feel like you'll never come out of that fully and find who you really are. And let me just tell you, if you're there, that you will come out of it. You will find yourself again, and you can do this. I'm saying that as a person who has been there and not known when the end would be. There is no end in sight for me, and it took really a creative outlet for me. That's what it was for me. I definitely have my husband to thank for that. This whole Savvy You page was his idea, and I honestly didn't know what it would become when I started it. For me, he brought up basically posting the outfits. So back then you have to realize that influencers, that kind of thing, it wasn't a thing at all. People didn't, it was just not as common as it is now, where you have tons of bloggers or influencers posting about their outfits, that sort of thing. It was really just starting out that. So it was very new, and so to me the idea sounded so silly. I thought no one would want to follow that. I literally said to him, I said, no one would want to follow that. That's a dumb idea. And the place that I was at in life was very, everything sounded dumb to me. Everything sounded that way because I didn't want to get myself out of that rut. And when you're in that place, it's a feeling of, I'm just gonna sit here in this place and basically wallow here, because that's all you feel. That's all you feel like you can do. And first of all, that's okay when you're there, but know that eventually you have to pick yourself up and try your best to come out of that. And thank God for the people that help push us through times like that, like he did. He literally, I remember that day, forced me out of the car and was like, we're taking pictures right now, right here in this outfit, in front of this brick wall at our house. And he's like, get out, and we're taking pictures in front of this brick wall. This is it. And so, you know, I thought it was so silly, but it's like the first time where I went to post and started typing that caption, it was like something clicked, something was different. The only way I knew how to describe that was empowering for me. It genuinely felt like I was finding myself. If you take the step, you're empowering yourself as a creative, as a person, and it's the first step to figuring out who you are, whether it takes 5 million steps or 5. This is step 1. And that was a lot for me. And when you're in that place of everything being down on yourself and everything that you do you feel is stupid or not good enough, that takes a lot. It took a lot for me, but I knew deep down that I wanted to get out of that place, that I wanted to find myself again. And I knew that was the first step, was just taking a step out of that darkness that I was in. This project means a lot to me personally because of that, and learning to love myself emotionally and mentally is a big part. And through every story that I've heard, I think they've all had to do with the mental aspect of loving myself. I didn't realize that until I shared my stories with others and I heard their stories, and I realized this is a huge part of loving yourself, is this here. It's not just this. It's not just, am I pretty? Am I this? Am I good enough? You know, do I need makeup, or it's not that. It's, do you love yourself here first? And then this. For the girls that have been a part of this, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this project. That means so much to me, for showing me how to love myself more and sharing your stories, for being vulnerable. It takes a lot to not only sit here, just bear, and also share vulnerability and bareness of just showing my heart and being open. And for these women that have been a part, for 10,000 people, that's a lot of people hearing your story, that they might not have been fully comfortable at the time, but they knew that it would help somebody out there, and that is why they felt that need to open up. That is why it was so important for them to share those stories that were, a part of who they were. And they knew that deep down it would touch someone else that was in that same spot. And so thank you so much to those women who have shared their hearts and opened up. It really means a lot. And I know that it means a lot to the people out there that I know has touched and helped through hearing your stories. And I hope that this project can touch more lives, and other women out there can see the importance of loving yourself. If anything, I really, my hope for this project as a whole in general is that women will see part of themselves in the women that I'm sharing stories. I have seen it happen, and I hope it continues to happen with this project, because we're all so much more similar than we think. And I cannot wait to share these new women this next coming week with you. Their stories are all so important. They're things that we've all struggled with. Someone in the last shoot brought up such a good point, and it was, if you have one bad day where you are back to where you were, whether it be addiction, whether it be not loving yourself mentally, physically, whether it be depression, whether it be anxiety, that does not mean that you are back to square one just because you have one bad day. And it doesn't mean that the 100 steps you've come so far sets you back to day one. It means that you're still on day 100 and you just had a bad day. So don't let yourself get down on yourself just because you have felt like you had a setback that one day. I have setbacks all the time, and I have let myself feel that way for sure, 100%. And it's crippling. It can be a lot to comprehend, and the anxiety takes over and panic sets in, and you feel like you just want to give up. But that being said, it happens to all of us, and we need to start being more open about that, and we need to start being more real about that. I think that the more that us as women as a whole are supportive of others and empower other women, it just will keep snowballing, and that's what needs to happen. And I just want to say thanks to all the women out there that do support each other, and all of you that have empowered me, thank you for that as well. Whether it was something as simple as replying to a story and encouraging me, or whether we had hour-long talks in the car, or whether you just said something in passing to me and kind of encouraged me or empowered me, it means the world, and that we need more of that. Those are the types of women I'm looking for these projects, and those are the types of women that I've found for these, and I will continue to. So with all that being said, please, if you would like to be a part of one of these too, please contact me. I would love to have you. I'll be doing more of these in the future, and I would love to hear your story. Definitely. I'd love to share your story. So please feel free to message me. Feel free to contact me and let me know, and I'd love to hear about that. But yes, thank you so much for watching.